जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शीला प्रभुपाद की, इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य शीला प्रभुपाद की, नम आचार्य शीला हरिदास ठाकुर की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Welcome to this morning Bhagavatam class. Today we are reciting the verse from Canto 4, Chapter 4, The Sati Quits Her Body, and the text number 14. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Please repeat with me, text 14. Yadvi aksharam nama gireritam nunam sakrutu prasangad agama suhantitat pavitra kirtim tamalangasya sasanam Bhavan aho dveshti shivam shivetara yadvi aksharam nama gireritam runam sakrit prasangadagama suhantitat pavitra kirtim tam alangya sasanam Bhavan aho dveshti shivam shivetara yadvi aksharam nama gireritam runam sakrut prasangadagama suhantitat pavitra kirtim tamalangya sasanam Bhavan aho dveshti shivam shivetara yadvi aksharam nama gireritam nunam sakrit prasangat agama suhantita pavitra kirtim tamalangya sasanam Bhavan abahudeshti shivam shivetaraha yadvi aksharam nama gireritam nunam sakrut prasangat agama suhantitat pavitra kirtim tamalangya sasanam Bhava mahodveshti shivam shivetara यदक्षरं नाम गिरेरितं नृणाम् सकृत् प्रसंगादगमासु हन्त्रितात् पवित्रकीर्तिं तमलङ्घ्य शासनम् भवामहो द्वेष्टि शिवं शिवेतरा यद्विअक्षरं नाम गिरेरितं नृणाम् सकृत् प्रसंगादगमासु हन्त्रितात् पवित्रकीर्तिं तमलङ्घ्य शासनम् भवानहो द्वेष्टि शिवं शिवेतरा. Word to word meaning? Yat, which, dviaksharam, consisting of two letters, nama, named, giri iditham, merely being pronounced by the tongue, nunam, persons, sakrit, once, prasangat, from the heart, agam, sinful activities, asu, immediately, hanti, destroys, tat, that, pavitra kirtim, whose fame is pure, tam, him, alangya sasanam, whose order is never neglected, bhavan, you, aho, o, dvesti, envy, shivam, Lord Shiva, Shiva Itara, who are inauspicious. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Please repeat with me. Sati continued, my dear father, you are committing the greatest offense by envying Lord Shiva, whose very name, consisting of two syllables, Shi and Va, purifies one of all sinful activities. His order is never neglected. Lord Shiva is always pure, and no one but you envies him. Purport. Since Lord Shiva is the greatest soul among the living entities within the material world, his name Shiva is very auspicious for persons who identify the body with the soul. If such persons take the shelter of Lord Shiva, gradually they will understand they are not the material body, but they are spirit soul. Shiva means Mangala or auspicious. Within the body, the soul is auspicious. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. This realization is auspicious. As long as one does not realize his identity as the soul, whatever he does is inauspicious. Shiva means auspicious, and devotees of Lord Shiva gradually come to the platform of spiritual identification. But that is not all. Auspicious life begins from the point of spiritual identification, but there are still more duties. One has to understand one's relationship with Supreme Soul. If one is actually a devotee of Lord Shiva, he comes to the platform of spiritual realization. But if he is not intelligent enough, then he stops at that point, only realizing that he is spirit soul. If he is intelligent enough, however, he should continue to act the way Lord Shiva, the way of Lord Shiva. For Lord Shiva is always absorbed in the thought of Vasudeva. As previously explained, Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudevam Sambitam, Lord Shiva is always in meditation on the lotus feet of Vasudeva. Lord Shiva is always in the meditation on the lotus feet of Vasudeva, Sri Krishna. Thus, auspicious position of Lord Shiva is realized if one takes the worship of Vishnu, because Lord Shiva says in the Shiva Purana that topmost worship is worship of the Lord Vishnu. Lord Shiva is worshipped because he is the greatest devotee of the Vishnu. One should not, however, make the mistake of considering Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu to be on the same level. That is also an atheistic area. It is also enjoyed in the Vaishnava Purana that Vishnu or Narayana is the exalted supreme personality of God, and no one should be compared to him as equal, even Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma, not to speak of other demigods. Let's do Mangalacharan. Omajnanatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitam Sa Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Drishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamamaimi Hari Priye Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha krupa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnav namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Dvaita Gadadara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna. So welcome once again. So we are continuing the discussion between the topic, today's topic, Swati quits her body. This is the conversation between Mother Sati and Daksha. For those who are not familiar with this pastime, those who are attending first time, for the benefit of those, I will briefly provide some recap of the previous things, what all have happened. So Lord Shiva attended the fire sacrifice of Daksha, and Daksha, when all the Brahma, Shiva and other sages were assembled in the fire sacrifice arena, and the Daksha entered the fire sacrifice arena, and then Lord Shiva was deeply absorbed in the meditation of Supreme Lord, and then he did not get up. So the Daksha felt offended, and then he insulted, and by seeing the insult of Daksha, Lord Shiva's associates Nandi, then he started cursing Daksha and all other Daksha and other followers, and then the followers of Daksha counter cursed. So the fight like that, cursing and counter cursing was happening, and Lord Shiva left the place. And after when that sacrifice is completed, then after few years again Daksha started another fire sacrifice, and this fire sacrifice started again. This time Daksha did not invite Lord Shiva, and Mother Sati, the wife of Lord Shiva, from the Kailash, she started that all the demigods and many other great saints of people traveling to the Daksha's place to attend this fire sacrifice. And then the Mother Sati got to know, she realized that her sisters and other family members also attending this fire sacrifice. Then she wanted to attend this fire sacrifice. Then Lord Shiva told, no, because we have not got the invitation, we shouldn't attend. And so Lord Shiva gave many explanations saying that why we shouldn't attend this sacrifice. But Mother Sati was very rigid to attend the fire sacrifice, and then she went to the Daksha's place alone, without Shiva, Lord Shiva. She went alone with all the followers of Lord Shiva came associated with Mother Sati to escort to the Daksha's place. So then once she reached Daksha's place, Daksha is her father, and then he did not welcome Mother Sati, and all other sages and great saints who were present, they did not welcome Mother Sati. Only her mother and sister came and just they both invited Mother Sati, but Mother Sati was not happy because the father, who was the very dear daughter of Daksha, is Mother Sati, but her father did not talk to her and did not invite anything, welcome her. So she felt very offended. She got angry. In that angry, she was started telling Daksha about glories of Lord Shiva. So in this last few verses, we have seen how Mother Sati was glorifying Lord Shiva, and same glorification is continuing in today's verse. If you see, Sati continued, "My dear father, you are committing the greatest offense by envying Lord Shiva, whose very name, consisting of two syllables, Si and Va, purifies one of all sinful activities. His order is never neglected. A Lord Shiva is always pure, and no one but you envies him." So she was preaching glories of Lord Shiva. No one in this material world envies Lord Shiva. You are the only one person who is developing envious towards Lord Shiva. So this whole purport, if you see, there are multiple important aspects Srila Prabhupada was touching. If you see some of the few things like auspicious, inauspiciousness, that is one few things Prabhupada was talking, and then what is the destiny of how the Lord Shiva followers worship. What is the destiny of Lord Shiva followers? And that is one thing he mentioned. And then if the Lord Shiva, intelligent followers of Lord Shiva, how they can follow, how they follow the footsteps of Lord Shiva, that is also mentioned. And finally, the Prabhupada was concluding that the Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma and Supreme Lord, both are, Lord Shiva and Brahma are not on the same level as Lord Vishnu. So these are the various points Srila Prabhupada was mentioning in the purport. So today we'll focus on auspicious and inauspiciousness. Like as per the Rupa Goswami, its definition, auspiciousness means any activity which we take that benefits everybody in the world, in the planet. So it's welfare to the mankind. That is auspiciousness. Now if you see in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it was mentioned that in the people generally look for Shubh and Ashubh, means auspicious and inauspicious things. That's what generally people looking in. But in this material world, everything is inauspicious. And because of our mental speculation, we try to differentiate, okay, this is auspicious, this is inauspicious. But in this on the material platform, everything is inauspicious. That's what Chaitanya Charitamrita was saying. The reason is, it is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. This material world it's full of miseries and temporary. And it is janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi. These are the four sufferings everyone will face in this material world. And in Srimad Bhagavatam also says, manda sumanda matiyo, manda bhagyo upadrita, right? So, all in the Kali Yuga, this material world, people are very dull-headed, very dumb, lazy people. So considering all these qualities, what kind of auspiciousness we get? So it's everything is inauspiciousness in this material. That is what Chaitanya Charitamrita is highlighting. But we can bring auspiciousness. How? Like by following the devotional activities, by following the Krishna conscious path, we can make the all the inauspicious into auspiciousness. So example, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going into the Jharkhand forest, he was doing the Sankirtan, and all the wild animals like lion, elephant, everything, they all together dancing, because that is the potency of that is the auspiciousness of that holy name, that brings all the different type of animals together and they are dancing. Not only that, if a person is following the performing devotional service, he develop all the good qualities, the qualities as good as demigod qualities. So when we see such way, by default in the material world, things are inauspicious, but we can make them auspicious by performing various devotional activities. That is the important point we need to understand. And even in Bhagavad Gita also it was mentioned, right, 7th chapter, person who is unable to forget Krishna, who is completely involved in chanting and hearing and perform various devotional activities, those are all very auspicious. So all the devotional activities brings auspiciousness from inauspiciousness. That is what we can understand, the high level understanding of the auspiciousness and inauspiciousness. Now coming to the today's context, that Shiva's meaning is, Shiva, the syllable Shiva, it is auspicious. What? So the meaning itself tells auspiciousness. So what kind of why Shiva is auspicious? The reason is all the inauspicious people, like the Shiva is associated with the followers of Shiva, like all the ghosts, hobgoblins, and all other many things are associated to Shiva. But those things, when they approach Shiva, they will get purified, they will be liberated. So these are all like this. When any ignorant person, any low level person approaches Shiva, when he follow the footsteps of Shiva, he will be elevated to the mode of goodness, from the passion and ignorant to goodness, and finally he will be getting the stage of realization, right? I am not the body, I am the soul. So that level of now understanding they will develop. That is the reason the Shiva, we follow, whoever is approaching Shiva, they will become auspicious. They will transform from inauspiciousness to auspiciousness. And what would happen to worshippers of Lord Shiva? Suppose the Lord Shiva, if you see the Shankaracharya in our current age, when the Lord Shankaracharya appeared, the started Advaita movement. Right? Shankaracharya is incarnation of Lord Shiva. He was preaching Advaita philosophy. Advaita means is only I am not the body, I am the soul, and finally my ultimate aim to merge with Brahman, the Brahma Jyoti. That is what Shankaracharya preaching, that philosophy. So that is also the level, at least the followers of Shankaracharya will come, is they realize that we are not the body, we are the soul. But that is there, only up to there they will reach. But what here we are saying in the purport Prabhupada was telling, coming to that stage, realizing that I am Brahman, I am not the body, I am the soul, that is auspiciousness. But that is just beginning of the auspiciousness. The further actual journey of auspiciousness starts from there. Because when we understand we are not the body, we are the soul, what is the next? What is our connection with the super soul? How we have to interact with the Supreme Lord? All the knowledge will come when you continue doing devotional service after realizing that I am not the body, I am the soul. So this is how, that's where in the purport Prabhupada was mentioning, the intelligent follower of Lord Shiva, they will understand the way Lord Shiva performs his devotion, the way Lord Shiva acts. So today we will try to focus on this line. The intelligent followers of Lord Shiva, they will follow the footsteps of Lord Shiva. Then we try to understand how Lord Shiva acts, how he performs devotional activities. Those are the few things. When we understand how Lord Shiva acts, then the followers, when we follow in the footsteps of Lord Shiva, we will also elevate we will also become a pure devotee. We can also go back to Godhead. So that we will see some of the points. We can see how the Lord Shiva acts in the devotional context. One of the first thing Lord Shiva tells is, like we know the famous verse from Shiva Puran, Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadyanam Samarchanam. So Lord Shiva is telling to Parvati Devi that out of all the worships, Vishnu's worship is very much important, topmost. And apart from other than that, on top of that, those who are worshipping, those who are serving devotees of Vishnu, that is even very more auspicious, more important than directly serving Vishnu. Even that is serving the devotee is more better than serving the Lord Vishnu. So followers of Shiva, those who are following the footsteps of Shiva, they need to follow if you have to follow the Lord Shiva, we have to perform Vishnu worship. Not only Vishnu worship, we have to serve devotees of Vishnu. That is one of the important point Lord Shiva is conveying. So this is an important point. When we worship Shiva, we have to take in this mode that we have to worship devotees and we have to worship Supreme Lord. And apart from that, there are many other, like we all know, like Lord Shiva is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. He is the topmost devotee of topmost Vaishnava and he is a topmost devotee of Supreme Lord. So any Vaishnava quality, if he is a superior Vaishnava, what kind of qualities he will exhibit? There are some of the important qualities we can consider. Like one is compassion is the topmost quality of any Vaishnava, any pure Vaishnava. Compassion is the important quality. Like let's see how Lord Shiva exhibits this compassionate nature. Like when Samudra Manthan is happening and both demons and demigods are churning the ocean, milk ocean, and trying to take the amrut, waiting for trying to extract the nectar. But what happened suddenly? Poison came. Then Shiva was not there in this picture till now, right? He was not involved in any of these activities to churning the milk ocean, and he was not. But from nowhere he entered and he took the poison. The mood we can understand Shiva's mood in this context is he was very compassionate nature, because he doesn't want the poison will affect everyone. Instead of everyone being affected by the poison, Shiva thought, okay, let me take that poison, and he took that poison and he kept it in the throat. And so that is one of the compassionate nature we can understand as a Vaishnava. That is a compassionate nature he is exhibiting to save the mankind. Like he took the poison. Like when we see the Lord Shiva is also Nilakant, means his throat is blue. Like the one external reason for this is Nilakant, because he took the poison. Because of that it became blue. But other internal meaning, our acharyas explain the reason for Nilakant, the blue throat, is because he always remembers the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is in bluish color, black and dark bluish color, right? So he was always remembering and meditating Supreme Lord, and there is no difference between his name and form, actual name and the form, right? So when he is meditating, reciting the name of the Supreme Lord, the name and form is not different. Because of that, his throat became blue. So the Supreme Lord is residing on the throat of the Shiva. That's why it became blue. So these are the various reasons, internal and external reasons why Shiva's throat is blue. But the important point we have to consider here is Shiva is compassionate nature. Because of his compassionate nature, he took the poison and he tried to save the mankind. And other important nature of the Shivas we can understand. If you see, Advaita Acharya is a incarnation of Shiva. Actually, yeah, we can say a combination of Mahavishnu and Shiva, but generally Mahavishnu, Sadashiva came from Mahavishnu, from Sadashiva Advaita Acharya came. So that is how we can say the Sadashiva, Advaita Acharya is incarnation of Sadashiva. But what he did, when in the Advaita Acharya, he saw in that time many people were not following the devotional path. They are not seriously practicing the devotion, and they are reading the scriptures not to develop the bhakti, but rather they wanted to just get the knowledge, to showcase their knowledge and intelligence, argue with other people. So there is no bhakti in that. Everybody is trying to deviating from the path of bhakti. And Advaita Acharya felt compassionate about this mankind. So for that purpose, what he said, he realized that he remembered one verse, like Tulsi dala matrina jalasya chulukenava vikraniti swam atmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. The verse says that if you take tulsi leaf and water and offer to the Lord feel very much indebted, like he'll sell himself to provide all the, take out all the, to recover his debts. He feel very obligated, indebted when you perform worship Lord with tulsi water and tulsi and water. Then Lord, he will ready to self himself to provide all the required things. So that is how the Advaita Acharya remembered, and then he performed the same thing on the Saligrama. He took the water and tulsi leaves. He prayed Supreme Lord to come to this material world to save this fallen conditioned souls, because they are not following any devotion path, they are not following any bhakti path. So to help them to follow the bhakti path, that's where the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incarnated into this one of the reasons for the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is where also we can see the Advaita Acharya, who is a incarnation of Sadashiva, Lord Shiva, and then we can see his compassionate nature in this case as well. And in Sri Vrindavan Leela also, we see in the Kamya one we have Kameshwar Mahadev, and if you see Vrishabhanu Maharaj, the father of Radharani, he was very great devotee, and he was not having any kids. He went to the Supreme Kameshwar Mahadev and he prayed. And the Lord Shiva, the Kameshwar Mahadev, felt, okay, he's a great devotee. He came and prayed me for the kids. So then he offered. So when he gave, Vrishabhanu Maharaj asked for one kid, but he gave 3 kids. Radharani, Sridham and Anangamanjari. So this is how the Lord Shiva is always compassionate in nature. And we also see the same, that same compassionate nature we can see in Prabhupada life also. When Srila Prabhupada went to Shantipur, where Advaita Acharya place was there, and he was crying in the front of that Advaita Acharya place. Then one of the sadhu asked, why are you crying? Then the Advaita Acharya, Srila Prabhupada was telling, my spiritual master put me very big responsibility, and I don't know how to fulfill that responsibility. That is what he was crying. So he was praying Advaita Acharya, and Advaita Acharya, by mercy of Advaita Acharya, and then so Srila Prabhupada was able to travel over America with Srimad Bhagavatam, and he there, after reaching there, he started preaching and then we know the story, history. Like Srila Prabhupada went there and he started preaching there, and finally he established ISKCON. So we can see the role of Advaita Acharya, who is incarnation of Shiva in Prabhupada. Even Prabhupada moved to fulfill his spiritual master desire. So these are all various stories. With this we can understand the compassionate nature of Shiva. As a follower, if we are intelligent enough, if we try to understand Shiva, if we want to follow the Shiva, these are the things we have to take. The compassionate nature of the Shiva we have to understand, and through the we have to follow the same footsteps. Even Srila Prabhupada also, we can see why he went to America at the age of very old age, and even after struggle, after getting 2 heart attacks, he continued travel and went to America. Because suppose in our case, if we if we understand, if we take our example, suppose if we are sick, after reaching that place, we immediately go to hospital and try to get our disease cured. But what Srila Prabhupada did, he did not bother to go to cardiologist or anyone. Directly he jumped into his action. He tried to find the way to preach the people in there. So that is the compassionate nature. So this compassionate nature, right from Shiva, right from Supreme Lord, Shiva, Advaita Acharya, and we can see in the Srila Prabhupada. This Parampara system, we can see Srila Prabhupada also exhibiting the same compassionate nature. And one more important quality of Vaishnava is humility, very humble nature. This is also we can see in Lord Shiva's pastimes. So when Lord Shiva in the Mohini Murti pastimes, so Lord Vishnu appeared after Samudra Manthan. Lord Vishnu appeared in the form of Mohini, and by seeing the Mohini Murti form, who is the Supreme Vishnu, Supreme Lord, Shiva got attracted, and Shiva started running behind Mohini Murti. And when Mohini Murti saw Shiva is coming behind, so he went to the area where great sages meditating on Lord Shiva. But when still Mohini Murti was passing through the places where the great sages are meditating on Lord Shiva, those sages. But Lord Shiva also going through them, he did not bother, because in general, if you see, one side it is an attraction towards Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Other side, people are there meditating on you. If you are in that position, you think that, okay, let me stop. My followers are there. People are worshiping, trying to meditate on me. If I do like this act in front of them, I will be losing name, fame, and they will stop worshipping, right? That kind of attitude we generally conditioned souls will be having. But Lord Shiva, he did not bother. He was attracted to Krishna's form in the feminine form, and he was running behind. So he did not care. So that is where, after that pastime, when the Lord Shiva realized that he is Supreme Lord Vishnu, he did not say anything, right? Oh, Shiva is Krishna. Still he says he is very attractive, but he did not say, Lord, why did you do this? I am your great devotee. I do so many services. Why you did like that? He did not tell all those things. But that shows his humility, humble nature, where he was glorifying Shiva, Supreme Lord, that he is very beautiful. And he did not bother, no false ego, nothing. He was attracted towards Krishna, and he is going behind Supreme Lord. So this is one of the humility nature we can understand. Not only that, he is ready to take different services. If you see, first he took the poison. Next, as a Sankirtan leader, Advaita Acharya, he was trying to invite Supreme Lord to help mankind. And then we see in the Vrindavan, we have Gopeshwar Mahadev, many other places, Lord Shiva is serving as a gatekeeper, right? So these are the various services Shiva is performing. In our case, we stick to one service. Okay, I am familiar with this service, I will keep on doing the same service. But Lord Shiva, whatever opportunity comes, he takes that service. He was ready to take the poison to help mankind. He is ready to play supreme rod to bring to save all the fallen conditioned souls, and he is ready to serve as a gatekeeper in Vrindavan. There are many places, Gopeshwar Mahadev, Kameshwar Mahadev and Chakreshwar Mahadev. Every place Lord Shiva is there in Vrindavan, he is protecting that Dham as a gatekeeper. And if you see in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Prachetas pastime, he is also acting, serving as a guru. So these are the various responsibilities Shiva takes just as a service. He is not attached to the service, specific type of service, but he is attached to the service of Krishna. That is the difference we can understand. It doesn't matter what service you get, but whatever he gets, he tries to fulfill, he tries to please the Supreme Lord. This is one of the important characteristic of Shri Lord Shiva we can understand from these pastimes. And one more important thing is Lord Shiva, he sees only good things in everyone. He doesn't see any bad things. How this is one of the important characteristic of Shiva. Like one example, one pastime, one story from some scriptures. There is one thief. He always steals bells from the temples. In India we can see that many temples will have a bell. As soon as you enter, you will ring the bell. So the many bells are there. He tried to steal bells from various temples. And then one day he saw one gold bell in one of the Lord Shiva's temple. And this person, the thief, he tried to steal, when he planned to steal that bell. So once the temple is closed, everyone is left the temple, then he planned to take the golden bell. So he on the night time he entered inside the temple when no one is present, and then he tried to take the bell. Bell is on the top, so he could not reach directly. Then what he did, he tried to climb the Lord Shiva's deity, and from there he tried to take the bell. Then after some time the Lord Shiva, within few minutes, Lord Shiva appeared, and then he was said, I am very much pleased. Then he said, why, what happened? I did not do any service. Then he said, you completely, many people will come and offer milk, or some people will offer flowers, some people will offer fruit, but you completely surrendered to me. Because he climbed on Shiva and he was holding the Shiva's, taking the support of Shiva's body to steal the bell, and the Lord Shiva was saying that, okay, you are the first one, you completely surrendered your body to me, that's why I am very much pleased. So this is how clear Shiva sees the thing. How we can understand this? Like suppose one material example we can take to understand this more clearly. Suppose if there is a diabetic patient is there, if he is going to any party, what he will see? He will always try to avoid sweets, and he will take only the items which are not sweet, which doesn't have a sugar or anything, right? Same way he can detect if who else is not diabetic by seeing that who is not touching the sweets, right? If you are having the diabetic, you know you don't take the sweets, and similarly the other people who are not taking sweets, by seeing that you can understand he is also diabetic person, who all are diabetic. He can imagine and he can find out. Same way, suppose if you are having the envious nature, if you are having the lusty desires, then you can also see who else is envious, who else is lusty. Similarly, in this case of Shiva, Shiva is very pure. Any devotee who performs the devotional service, who is purified now, all the anarthas will be removed. Then he is very pure. Then he can, when you are in that state, you can identify all the good qualities in others. The way this is one of the an example we can take from Shiva. So whenever Shiva sees only good qualities in others, like we try to find black spot in a white area, even though it is whatever white, if there is no black dark marks, we try to find. But in contrast, Shiva, when even in a dark background and dark area, he try to find white spot. Means even if it is whatever bad things you do, he try to find some good qualities in you. That is the nature of Shiva. So these are all the various qualities. If you are trying to follow the footsteps of Shiva, all these things we need to consider, and then we have to follow. And another important aspect is Lord Shiva is completely renounced. He is not attached to many things. Like, so there is one important interesting verse, one shloka from some of the scriptures, Sanskrit shloka. It is, this verse says, Swayam Mahesha, Swasro Nagesha, Saka Danesha, Tanayo Ganesha, Tatapi Bhikshatanameva Shambho, Baliya kevalam Ishwarecha. Right? This verse says Swayam Mahesha. He is the God, the Lord of all the demigods. And Swasuro Nagesha. His father-in-law is king of mountains, Himalaya. So Lord Shiva himself is a demigod, great Lord. He is a Lord of all the demigods. And then his father-in-law is a mountain, king of mountains, Himalaya. And Sakha Danesha, his friend is a Danesha means treasurer, Kubera. So, and then Tanaya Ganesha, his son is Ganesha is also demigod. And after these are all the people, the background, if you see the Shiva's background, these are the people. He himself is a Lord, and his father-in-law is a king of mountains, his friend is a Kubera, and his son is a Lord, demigod as well. So generally in the context what we see, if such person we see very influential, in the materialistic person also we see, if you are the son of a prime minister or president, you feel everyone will respect it. You will be very influential person in the society. That is what the people will think about. But in case of Lord Shiva, what is it? Even after all this family lineage, what he does Bhikshatana. He lives in a crematorium, and he put all the skulls as a garland, and he put ashes everything on the body, right? And he wanders roaming around to get the food. So this is the detachment we can see in the Lord Shiva's pastimes. That is how we need to develop if you are trying to follow the footsteps of Lord Shiva. So this shows how greatly Shiva is renounced. So with all these qualities, like we see in this whole pastimes, Shiva is nowhere making himself as equal to Vishnu, right? Supreme Lord. Everywhere he is showing his devotional nature. He is subordinate, submissive to Shiva, Supreme Lord, and he is feeling like a subordinate to Vishnu. So nowhere he is showcasing himself as equivalent to Vishnu. In all these pastimes, whatever discussion we had till now, right? So that's why the Prabhupada was kind of mentioning in this purport, right? So Lord Shiva and is not on the same level as, we should never consider Lord Shiva on the same level as Supreme Lord Vishnu. When we see the pastimes, all these stories and various qualities of Shiva, we can get the same thing. He never is trying to prove himself equal as Vishnu. So these are all the various qualities. This is what the Prabhupada told. Intelligent follower of Lord Shiva, when he follow the footsteps of Lord Shiva, then he will become a devotee. This is an intelligent follower will understand all these points, like how Shiva is compassionate, how humble Shiva is, and what kind of services he takes. He doesn't have any specific attachment to any services. Then he is detached. All these qualities prove that he is just subordinate. He is trying to become subordinate to the Shiva. He is a devotee of Vishnu. So with this understanding, we also, when we worship, we will also progress in our bhakti. Though you are the follower of Shiva, by following the footsteps of Shiva, we can also progress in our bhakti. I remember I was listening one of the lectures of Amoglila Prabhu. He was mentioning, before he is joining ISKCON, Krishna consciousness, he was very strong devotee of Lord Shiva. And he used, his room, everywhere, he used to have all the Lord Shiva photos with Trishul, with Parvati Shiva photos. He used to chant Om Namah Shivaya and all. But after joining this ISKCON movement, we can see the example. Now he is one of the finest features in our movement. Right? So this is how we can, following the footsteps of Shiva, we can elevate it into the Bhakti path platform. That is what we can understand from these instructions. I will conclude here. Any comments? Yes. I think it is Vishnu Purana, maybe. That's what I am thinking, yeah. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, Gopeshwar, and yeah. Gopeshwar, Kameshwar Mahadev, and Bhuteshwar Mahadev. There are many, everywhere he was there. Even Bhuneshwar also there. All the Dham areas, he is there as a protector. Okay. This is a more technical, like we studied when we were doing the Sankhya philosophy, we also discussed this. See, like when Sadashiva is a eternal, like is a eternal form of Shiva. Is he like he's above the material world, but not same as a Vishnu Tattva. He's in between. That's Sadashiva. But when Lord Vishnu is creating when glancing the Pradhan, when then the Lord Mahavishnu will not directly interact with Pradhan, the material world, but when we glance, the Rudra, the Shambhu will come as a contacting to the material world. Yeah, Shambhu or Rudra. So then the Maya also joins Shiva, Rudra, the Shambhu. Then the material world is created. That's how. So that is where the Rudra, the Shambhu touches the material world, where Vishnu, the Mahavishnu, it does not touch the material world. That's high level technical understanding. Rudra or Shambhu, that's what they say. I understand, my understanding. But the Sadashiva is the eternal. This Shambhu is a temporary. Since he is part of material world, it is temporary. He is a temporary. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। गौर भक्त